Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to have you with us in our new podcasting that I'm starting. It's called Renaissance Revival. Because living in this country for 29 years, I see how the happiness disappearing from an American society. And I've seen it in the former Soviet Union empire. It does not exist over there. So my goal is to bring happiness back to this world. And is in my introduction, I explain why I call it Renaissance Revival. And today, unfortunately, we're gonna start with very sad note. But I hope this sad note can lead us to some very successful changes in that country that's gonna make much more happy people. I want to really reveal the truth, and I hope together we will be able to change the situation when one of the most beautiful person that I met in my life died in my arms because there no other help was available for him. So I met Sheldon Reynolds maybe 2 years ago, but approximately 1 year and 4 months he moved and lived with me in one of my room in my house because he didn't have any place to live. He was kicked out from the previous apartment he lived in 𝗥𝗲𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗹, and because he was receiving only tiny little pension, which was $850 per month, so no income, no other income. He wasn't able to rent anything. He wouldn't even have money for food. So one of his friends, my dear friend and my partner, Samuel Morris, came to me one day and he said, we need to help Sheldon. And because I had one extra room, I gave it for him absolutely for free. And we were helping with him, taking him to restaurants sometimes, feeding him some, but it's not even the most important things. Sheldon Reynolds, from some sources, got sick maybe 7 years ago with Parkinson's disease. The other people saying at the beginning of the 21st century. I don't know details and I'm not gonna get into that, but the last 1 year and 3 months he was with me. I tried everything to find help for him, for the room, to get some assistant that would be coming and checking his health, but nothing is available for him because his medical was so low a level that we cannot find any help for him. When I came to this country, it was 29 years ago in June 1994. This country shocked me in a good way because I saw how this country is taking care about people who's in wheelchairs and everything. Back in the Soviet Union, nobody was taking care about those people, just families as much as they can do. But if they lived in the apartment, for storage apartment on the 4th floor, and there are no elevator, those people were trapped in the apartment forever until their death. And here when I came, I saw all of those portables, elevators, you name it, everything to help people. I was so in love, and I'm still in love with this country, for what this country is doing for people. And for very many immigrants from former Soviet Union, including my late husband, parents, they were having all the benefits. They were paying just $250 for 1-bedroom apartment. They were having all Medicare, medical, you name it, everything. They had living assistant. People were coming and taking care about them, cleaning houses, you name it. And then I'm facing a completely different story. And it's not only Sheldon Reynolds. Unfortunately, he is the second guy I'm helping. The other was 𝗥𝗲𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗹. He was at age 13, already some prodigy. in the music to singing, and became like very big and popular. And then he became very old. That's when I met him. And no family, nobody, no money, nothing. He lived in my apartment building. I had one apartment free. I gave him for 6 months to live for free. Very many of my friends knows him and introduced me to him. And he was a very beautiful person as well. And it's so sad for me that he couldn't get any help as well. So Sheldon Reynolds, the last couple of weeks before his death, his condition was really, really bad. And several months before his death, he started to fall like constantly. And beside me and Samuel Morris, it was 2 other of his friends that were coming and sometimes visiting and taking him out to restaurants or to a church where he was singing and playing on the guitar. So it was Jesse Moore and Don Binen, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, Don. So it's only us who were really helping him. I've never seen anyone else around for 1 month, for 1 year and 3 months. And he needed help, lots of help. So he was falling. One time he fell on the front yard, and I called, and he hurt his shoulder very hard. And I called ambulance, and in a couple hours they let him go. I'm being a scientist, being a physiologist, and working in one of my scientific labs long time ago back in Ukraine, in the Soviet Union Empire. It was biochemical labs in the big hospital and research institute, cardiology. So based on what I saw, I believe 100% he had micro heart attacks all the time when he was falling. But hospitals did not pay attention to anything. So I came and picked him up like in 2 hours from that hospital. And there are any recommendations, nothing for him to do, how to help him, how to support him. And it's really sad. Before that, he fell in the church, and he came with we sent him to the hospital April 3rd, and it happened like 1.5 weeks before April 3rd. So he fell and he broke one of his eyebrow, and a huge bruise was around his eye. And when he got into a hospital, they put him in the hospital too. I don't know how they did not check up the rest of his system. And the week before his death, poor guy, he couldn't even wear his slippers, which were huge because his legs were so huge, swollen. And of course, I have no rights to recommend to do anything for him here because I don't have my license here. I'm in education right now. But frankly, guys, it was so painful to see what's happened to him. So they writing that he died on May 23rd. For me, he died on May 18 because that's early in the morning. It was Thursday. I was preparing for the school to go to the school. And then I hear some boom, big thud. First I thought somebody is running in my backyard, and I was thinking which stick I have to go and kick out that intruder from my backyard. But then I realized maybe it's Sheldon fell down. I get into his room, and he was almost on the floor with just elbow holding him from being completely on the floor. And he wasn't even talking, he was just making noises like this. In a couple of minutes, the noises becomes shorter and shorter, and with his open mouth and open eyes, he just completely died in my arms because I was holding him. I called at this time during he still was a little bit alive. I called to 911 and they said do CPR, and I trained to do CPR. So I was doing CPR, but he was dead already. And it was so sad to see the entire process, what's happened over there. So because just 2 years and 4 months, my husband passed away in my arms as well. It's just like destiny for me. And it was absolutely the same picture, but because my husband was sick and he had lots of medication and lots of help, Sheldon did not have too much medication. So the 911 guys, it took them around 15 minutes to arrive finally, and Sheldon did not breathe already, so I was squeezing his chest, but the air was coming out and nothing was coming in. And when they came, he didn't have pulse or anything. And being a physiologist, being a scientist, more than 11 minutes, usually brain does not survive. But the guys start to do for him those electrical shocks to try to bring him back. And it took them maybe 20 minutes until the last shock generated pulse in his body. But the shock was so huge and so scary. The whole dead body just jumped in the air. I was thinking that if it would be done to me, being alive, I would die right away. My heart would stop. But in any case, they were able to generate the pulse, and they bring him out from the house and took him to the hospital. And then 5 days later, then they disconnected the artificial breath machine. So he passed away fully on May 23rd. So, but it's not to blame anyone. I'm talking about this. It just, I know that very many people in the past, I don't want to name the name right now, but one of my very dear friend as well, since God, he's married and he has wife around him. So they aiming, and he was pretty big actor. I don't want to name the name, but they aiming to move to another country because here they don't have enough help to survive. How is it possible, guys? So that's why I'm asking each and every single person in this country and beyond, let's do something. These people who were not just beautiful people, but the legends. This person was helping America to become an America, creating a very unique and beautiful culture. And eventually he died, even worse than the dogs sometimes, because his medical service was not good enough. He did not have Medicare, it seems to me. He just had Medicare. And just my idea is to create like a special society, the legends. So if any person in a trouble and cannot work anymore and does not have money, we will be able to find the solution and help those people to be between us and to be remembered and to be supported. So my information is going to be on the screen. So please email us or text me so that we can create that society that will be able to help people like Sheldon Reynolds and 𝗥𝗲𝘃𝗀𝘃𝗹 and very many others that I know suffering from not getting help from their own country on which they work for so many years. I don't think it's fair to provide everything for immigrants. It's beautiful. I don't say take away from them. Thank you so much for doing that. But let's provide the same amount of help for people who was working here. Thank you so much.